This is Snapshots, the podcast that tells the short stories about the impossible to forget pictures our mind takes of the positive, transforming events in our lives. Today's episode is Caroling in September. The snapshot today is that of a fairly large group of people, over 50, one with a guitar, singing in a semicircle on a green lawn facing the front of a 2-story house with the basement mostly below ground. In the doorway stands a pleasant woman in her early 60s, a bit misty-eyed, leaning against the frame of her front door, wearing glasses and a smile. It seemed a little strange to be caroling in September, but we were there for Mary, which should be noted is not her real name. Mary loved to sing, and loved, well, seemingly everyone. We had a gift to deliver, and a song to sing, and we didn't have the luxury of waiting until Christmas. Mary had advanced cancer, and we wanted her to be able to enjoy her gift as long as possible. The gift came about because Mary's big heart seemed to attract other people with big hearts, including my wife Julie. Julie and Mary had become great friends and spoke with each other nearly every day. To Julie, the thought of Mary being in pain and suffering was nearly unbearable. She wanted to be able to hug Mary all the time to try to provide some measure of comfort. This thought led to a gift idea. There were many people who loved and wanted to show support for Mary, so why not get a present that could provide a symbolic hug from as many people as possible? A quilt seemed to be the perfect gift for this. In the first phase, Julie arranged with several other quilters in the neighborhood and in our local congregation to make the quilt. I am not a quilter, but did see and overhear enough to know that those involved had fun making that bedspread together, and that it was also made with love. After the quilt was made, the second phase kicked in, and it was then made available to as many as possibly knew and cared for Mary in as quick a manner as possible, to write a special message for her on the backside of the piece. Many, many people contributed their loving words. The third phase, that of delivery, was then arranged. We gathered as many as we could, although not nearly as many as wanted to come, and delivered the gift with a song, as we knew that Mary loved singing. She even wrote songs. Now, whenever Mary was cold or in need of comfort, she could wrap herself in the quilt, remember the pure intentions of those who made it, and those who delivered it, and read the messages on it, and hopefully feel like she was getting a big, warm embrace from dozens. Over the next several months, Mary did find warmth and comfort under the quilt and read the messages multiple times. She said she did feel like she was being hugged by us, her extended family. More memories were made, more love was shared. I wish I could tell you that Mary kicked cancer in the rear, but within the next year she passed away. There's a phrase that I love that's found multiple times in the scripture stating that the person went the way of all the earth. I find that strangely comforting. All the heroes, all the villains, everybody great and small will eventually pass on. But I have faith that isn't the end. I have seen and experienced way too much to possibly believe that. So, I believe I'll see Mary again. I believe that what Mary did in this life mattered. I believe the ripple effects from her actions, such as what you heard previously, mattered. Love matters. It has to. Now, admittedly, I don't create a lot of poems. However, one kind of came to me while writing this story. And since the lady featured in the snapshot loved poetry, she actually had a couple of poems published and had such a big heart, in honor of her, I thought I would end this piece with a poem which I'll dedicate to her and all others like her. For the fortunate, life begins with love and pain. And so it continues for those who walk a worthy path. Love and pain. Love and pain. Love and pain. Each ever increasing, building, combining through powerful struggle to form precious art, like that made from stained glass and fire. We can only hope that our love can burn so strong and so bright that something beautiful remains when we're gone. Thanks for listening to Snapshots, Memories That Transform Us. This is currently a monthly podcast. However, I would love to hear and share your snapshots. So if you have one from your life that you would be willing to share with listeners, please submit it to rsidwell@email.com. That's rsidwell@email.com. And let me know if you would like your name attached if read on the podcast or left anonymous. If there are enough submissions, then this will become at least a bi-monthly podcast. Please understand that not all submissions will make it on the podcast. There will be no financial compensation for any submission regardless of what happens with it, and that I may have to edit submissions due to grammar or length. But don't let that discourage you. Your story may impact someone's life for good. This has been Robert Sidwell. I look forward to hearing from you and talking with you again.